Hello, my name is Anton Brown. Welcome to this singing technique practice recording. I've put together a set of exercises that have proved valuable for keeping my voice healthy and in shape, sometimes during periods of intense work when my voice can become tired, and also during periods of relative quiet when I need to keep my voice from getting out of condition. These are real-world exercises distilled from years of singing, teaching, and being taught. I think it's of value to say a few words about what you can hope to achieve with this recording and how best to go about it. The exercises are designed to provide a gentle and basic daily schedule that will keep your voice and breathing in shape, and hopefully keep you in touch with a neutral vocal production. I see no reason why this recording should not be used in conjunction with a teacher's work if you're lucky enough to have one. If you are between teachers or unable to attend regular singing lessons for whatever reason, then this recording is ideal. Although I've described the work here as basic, doing the exercises well requires considerable skill, practice, and I'm afraid, patience. In this part of the recording, I'll talk you through each exercise to help you understand what each one is about. I'll also give examples. Try to get an understanding of the essence of each one. You will need to acquire self-monitoring skills so you can judge whether you're doing the exercises well, as I won't be with you to give you feedback on the sound you're making. See if you can maintain a relaxed and quiet concentration throughout. I have chosen a pitch range for these exercises that will be in the middle of the majority of voices. If you find they push the limits of your range, this is not necessarily a bad thing, as long as you approach it well. I give advice later on the exercises where this may happen. I suggest you stay with the first part of this recording until you've got a feel for the work in hand. Rushing ahead and consequently doing the exercises badly day after day will mean that you will not derive the full benefit. In this section, I'm going to talk you through the exercises. Have a pen and paper handy so that you can make notes that will refresh your memory as to the purpose of each exercise. You'll find this helpful when you come to do them in full. The act of singing has been broken down into its elementary parts in the first few exercises, so that you can concentrate on just a few areas at a time before putting it all together. The program starts with inhalation and exhalation, and continues with each exercise building on the last. Let's go through the exercises in detail with some examples. Have your pen and paper ready, and of course stop the recording whenever you need to. I'd like you to sit comfortably and upright in a good chair and place one hand on your abdomen, quite low so that your thumb is level with your navel. Gently breathe in and imagine that the air is drawn into you from the area beneath your hand. When you breathe out, feel that the air is coming from this same place. Feel that you're breathing low in your body. Ideally, your shoulders will not rise when you inhale, but there will be a gentle expansion of your abdomen. For this to be the case, you must be relaxed in the area of the tummy. If you're storing tension there, you will find it difficult to achieve this abdominal breathing. You will need to let go of the tension. Why not pause playback and try this now for a short while? Do the first exercises 1, 2, and 3, which we shall go through in a minute. Lying on the floor initially, support your head with a pillow. When you're happy that they're free and comfortable, try them sitting upright, but not rigid, in a chair. This is a little harder. Finally, try them standing with a good posture and with your feet about 1 foot apart. This is the most difficult position in which to do these exercises well. Why not get into the lying down position now? Pause playback again. Make sure your hand is on your abdomen, and we'll look at exercise 1. One of the first things we do at birth is breathe in, and that's what we're going to practice here. Remember these words: quick, clean, and quiet. This is what we're looking for. Your mouth and jaw are relaxed, the tip of your tongue resting just behind your lower front teeth. As you breathe in, imagine the air being drawn down to meet your hand with no obstacles in the way and no restriction. It should sound something like this. And again. If you're making sounds like this, or maybe, then tension is creating a restriction in the airway. Don't worry, but try to let go of it. Let your diaphragm do the work, not your mouth or throat. When you've taken a full, comfortable breath, just let the air out. Don't drive it or squeeze it out. Just relax your diaphragm and let the air come out of its own accord. Allow the natural elasticity of your abdomen to send the air out with no help from you. Incidentally, when we come to do exercises 1, 2, and 3 in full later, you'll be doing them out of phase with me. That is to say, you will hear me complete one round, then you copy, then you rest whilst I complete another, then you copy, and so on. We'll be doing them to a backing track to keep us in sync. If you find it difficult to breathe in quickly enough, start to breathe a little earlier. Exercise 2 is a sigh. We're going to keep the work that we've just done and add to it the most basic exhalation. Still no driving or squeezing, just release the air. As the air comes out, we're going to form some sounds with the tongue and lips in as relaxed a way as possible. These are the sounds we'll be using. S, that's an S. F, that's an F. Sh, that's an SH. That's just blowing. Be very careful not to push, squeeze, or control the air in any way. After a while, I'd like you to add your voice to this exercise. Make a sound that's comfortably low, and be sure that your voice doesn't interrupt the flow of air. I want there to be the same flow of air at your lips in the voiced exercise as there is in the unvoiced exercise. Listen, the air at my lips here is the same as the air at my lips here. My voice is carried on the air, and in a sense, the air is more important than the sound. Try to maintain a feeling of freedom and openness in your throat. If you feel dizzy at any stage, then please stop. Here's an example then of exercises 1 and 2. All we're doing to begin with is breathing in and letting go, so you copy me. Here I go. And you, in, out. And me, and you, in, out. Then we're going to add some of these sounds that we've talked about. So I'm going to start with an S. My turn. And you, in, out. And me, and you, in, out. I'm changing to an F. So you, in, out. And me. Later on, I'll add my voice. So you copy what I do. And you, and me, and you. I'm going to change to an SH. And me, and you, and so it goes. Exercise 3, a sigh with a squeeze. We're going to keep all that we've done in the 2 previous exercises and add something to them. We're simply going to accelerate the air mid-flow by contracting or squeezing the tummy muscles. We are, in effect, adding an accent. It sounds like this. An important point here, as soon as you've squeezed your tummy muscles to accelerate the air, try to release that tension. Don't hold it. Hopefully you will see and feel your hand, which is still on your abdomen, bounce in and then back out as you squeeze and release. We'll do this with air first, as you've just heard, and then later on with your voice. If you have difficulty with this, practice it in segments without the backing track. Practice it this way until you're able to do it smoothly as a whole. In segments, it'll be like this. Remember, the in-breath is still the same as in exercise 1. The release, or sigh, the same as in exercise 2. The squeeze is the only new thing. Don't underestimate the value of these simple exercises. Stay with them, listen carefully to my examples, and be sure that yours are similar. If you're not convinced that you're doing these first 3 simple yet paradoxically tricky exercises well, give yourself some more time to get used to them. Listen carefully to my examples. They should feel comfortable and free. You'll need to spend a few minutes pretty much daily to achieve this. Starting to sing, exercise 4. This exercise is done to 1/2 of the major scale. We will go from so down to do, or from 5 to 1. Then go up a semitone and repeat, and so on. Do this to any of the 5 vowels with a breathy onset. In other words, hu, he, he, ha, haw. Pick one vowel and stay with it each time you do the exercise. It sounds like this. Ha, ha, ha. Again, we keep the essence of the previous exercises and add to them. Breathe in properly, feed the air from low down, resist the temptation to grab in the throat. Give your voice its freedom. The work from now on is pitched. Remember, we all have different ranges. I've kept the scales in a range that I've found most people can manage, but you must judge for yourself. If the exercise goes uncomfortably low, drop out. If you find it uncomfortably high, do likewise. If you find it goes through a break in your voice, then go through that break as comfortably as possible. Maintain the airflow and lighten up on the sound. Don't worry if your voice wobbles or clunks around a bit. Gently try and make it as smooth and as comfortable as possible. We're after a good feeling in preference to the sound at this stage. Whatever you do, don't strain away regardless. Adding another thing, exercise 5. This exercise is similar to the previous one, except that there are 3 onsets or starts. It is important here to release your abdominal muscles between the onsets, rather like in exercise 3. There's no need to actually inhale, but just release. Here's an example. Ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha, ha. Exercise 6. One thing more. Again, similar to, but building on the previous exercise. This time, 1 onset with 2 accents during the sustain. This is quite tricky. Keep the note continuous. Try and make sure the accents come from your abdomen, definitely not your throat. See if you can release the muscles after each accent. Ha, ha. Exercise 7, the mobile tongue. Here we're going to isolate and hopefully release your tongue. Listen to these directions carefully. Make a note if you desire. Open your mouth until your front teeth are about 1 inch apart. Then try to leave your jaw in that position for the duration of the exercise. Do this initially in front of a mirror because your jaw may well move inadvertently unless monitored. Leave the tip of your tongue just in contact with your lower front teeth, which is where it will be anyway if you're relaxed. I then want you to move the back of your tongue forwards and backwards so you get an E-air sound, finishing on R. Remember, jaw open and still, the tip of your tongue just in contact with your lower front teeth. Work or massage the back of your tongue forwards and backwards in a relaxed manner. Keep the air moving. Go gently at this. We're not aiming to develop a muscle-bound tongue. We're aiming to free it up. Exercise 8, the dropping jaw. In this exercise, we are looking for space and freedom at the back of the jaw. I'd like you to sing from oo to or, finishing on r. Let your lips go forward to form a good oo, something like a moderate pucker. Then leave them forward as you drop the back of your jaw to form or. If you allow your lips to pull back to the side as you drop your jaw, you'll get more of an R sound. Try to ensure the back of your jaw actually drops and rises as you do this exercise. That's what it's about. Stay relaxed. I call exercise 9 Grinning and Pouting. I think you'll enjoy this. It's a simple lip and cheek exercise from oo to e. Lips as far forward as they'll comfortably go on oo, like a good pout, and as far back on e, like a grin. We're after relaxed extremes of movement. Time for a reminder. On all these exercises, monitor your breathing. Breathe in properly, keep the air flowing through the exercise, and once again, stay relaxed. Exercise 10, the open throat. Do this exercise to yaw or ya. We're going to sustain these notes. Try to make them feel as free and as spacious as possible. You may find it helps to imagine that you are drinking the sound as you make it. Or you can imagine that your throat is made of silk, and as you sing the note, it gently billows open. Feel as if these notes come from way down in your being. Allow your voice to develop its freedom. Give it space, don't push, release. Feed your voice with air, but don't make it breathy. Finally, if you feel the scales are getting too high, drop the octave. There should be no straining, particularly with this exercise. Exercise 11. This exercise is to be done to a lip or tongue trill. That's a brr or rrr, whichever you find easiest. Keep all the muscles of the mouth relaxed. Make sure you're feeding air through the whole time. Try not to squeeze in your throat as you ascend the scale. This exercise covers a wide range in pitch. You may have to go through to your head voice or falsetto for the fellas. If so, go through as lightly and as openly as possible, keeping the air moving at all times. If you find this exercise uncomfortable, leave it for now and come back to it later. Exercise 12. Down to the bottom. We're going to explore the lowest notes of your voice. We all have different ranges, so to make this exercise effective for people with low voices, I've gone down to a low C. This may be much lower than some of you can manage, but it doesn't matter. Just carry on until you run out of notes and are just producing air. I want you to practice approaching your lowest notes without gripping or constricting in your throat. Maintain a feeling of space and freedom. Feed the air through and let go every time you feel a tendency to grab in your throat. You can allow the sound to be breathy if this helps with the freedom. Once you get good at this, see if you can add some brightness to the sound. Here's an example of what we don't want, which is gripping as we descend. Here's a better way, a bit breathy but comfortable. Eventually, when we're practiced at this, we can add some brilliance to the sound. Exercise 13. Now, here we go up to the top. Do this to any of the vowels, though some will be easier than others. What we're hoping to gain here is an ease about the production of the higher notes of what I'm going to call your normal voice, and if necessary, through into falsetto or head voice. If this simply goes too high, stop. Otherwise, keep the air flowing and your voice supported. Keep the sound light, but not breathy. We're not looking for a belting sound at this stage. Above all, resist the temptation to struggle, push, force, or bully. You may find your voice wobbles, jumps several notes, or veers off at a tangent when you get to a certain point. Well, at this stage, let it. It's your passaggio, and all of us have a hard time with it. Focus on keeping things feeling comfortable, and let the sound look after itself. You can sort that out later. Exercise 14, humming and buzzing. In this exercise, we look at humming as a means of increasing the resonance in your voice. Resonance helps a voice to carry with minimum physical effort and minimum stress to the vocal mechanism. Do this to for mother, n for noisy, or as in the latter half of sing. Your jaw can be quite loose whilst humming, certainly not clenched. There should be space between your teeth. Keep the air moving. Keep your throat open. Try and focus the sound at the bridge of your nose. You may get a buzzing sensation. You're looking to produce this sort of sound. If you find yours a bit dull, see if you can bring the sound forward without doing it from the throat. Once you're happy with this exercise, you can add some of this brilliance to the other exercises. For instance, you'll be able to go from ha to ha in exercise 4. And you can add some cut to the low notes in exercise 12. It's a stronger, clearer sound. One thing, be careful with this that you don't start producing a nasal sound. There is a difference. Exercise 15 is not really an exercise. We're just going to fool around with one of the backing tracks to play with our thoroughly warmed up voices. Use all of your range, do melodic things, do rhythmic things, make up your own words or use the phrase that I use. I'm gonna sing this song, I'm gonna sing this song, I'm gonna sing this song. Gonna sing this song. One last thing, you may have noticed that the vocal quality I used when singing was different from the quality I used in the exercises. In the exercises we use what I call a neutral sound. We want this sound to become home. When you sing, you're conveying emotions with your voice, so it may have a breathy quality, it may have a harder quality, it may have a bigger quality, depending on what you're trying to convey. I think you should do what you will with your voice and experiment with it, as long as it doesn't hurt or feel strained or tired. Always come back home to neutral in your practice and in your warm-ups, and sometimes even after a performance if you've been screaming and shouting to get rid of any residual tension. Well, that's it from me. I'll leave you to get on with the exercises in full, and I'll see you again sometime.